take a little detour from what we usually talk about on this channel and discuss some ways that you can become a shredding hard rock style guitar player. And I'm going to give you 3 tips that will get you started in this style. And I actually learned this in 1991 from my first guitar teacher. And at the time I couldn't really do it, but I saved those lessons. My first guitar teacher showed up with a Jackson Flying V to our lesson, long hair, fully hairsprayed out, and it was 1991, so the 80s shredding guitar player thing was in full effect, and all the guitar players were all about this thing. So we're going to talk about how to get you there in a practice routine that will get you there very fast. Let's start with a natural minor scale in the key of E. This would be a good pattern to start with if you're looking to play anything that is strictly minor. And in fact, the backing track that I was playing along would be the chords to Separate Ways by Journey. E natural minor. You can use any pattern or any sound that you're looking for, but today we'll stick strictly with that natural minor because a lot of the blues stuff that you're doing or your minor pentatonic will lay right across that, and you can use a lot of those blues licks, combine it with this natural minor to get a very, very hard rock, badass sound. So first thing you want to do is overdo it with the vibrato. So practice your vibrato and practice playing slowly so that you have somewhere to go in your solo. So the first thing you want to do in your solo is play the notes with lots of vibrato, and you can do this as an exercise. I want to overdo it. It's not supposed to sound good. I'm trying to see how much I can get, because if you play with a lot of vibrato, it's going to communicate confidence. Get it to where the overdrive or the distortion you're using is carrying the whole thing, and it sounds super aggressive and crazy. So I'm just going to play the scale and see if I can make myself vibrato every single note. And of course, from playing all the blues that I really love, I really know which ones sound good with vibrato. So I suggest you work on it for a while and overdo the vibrato. It'll probably make your technique better too, because you really got to grab the string to get that vibrato going. Step 1, play phrases nice and slow with lots of vibrato. Let's try that. One more time. Overdo the vibrato in your practicing so that when you get on stage, you're feeling nervous, any vibrato will come out. A lot of people, they think they're practicing vibrato, they're moving their hand a lot, but they're not actually making the note vibe, meaning change pitch and come back. So one thing you can do if you're really just learning this the first time is record yourself and see if the note is actually changing or if you're just moving your hand. I'll give you an example. Just moving your hand that I see a lot of people do. It's not really doing much. Now that is clearly moving the note around. Somebody moves their hand. You see they're doing the face, but nothing's really happening. You want it to really move. It's not a bend. A bend is to a specific note. You could actually bend and vibrato. See how I went to the note and then went away and come back? That's what it's about. Establish the note and then move it away and back. Another pitfall people do is they try to vibrato and they go, and it never returns to the actual note it's supposed to be, so it just sounds like they're out of tune. work on it. If it sounds like a human voice or you feel like you're really starting to get it, it's probably happening. If you feel like you're just doing a lot, it's probably not happening. You'll be able to see the note and feel it, hear it, I mean. You'll be able to hear the note moving. Anyway, the next thing you want to do is practice to a track playing only half notes or whole notes. So you practice playing slowly. Lots of vibrato and slowly is going to communicate confidence in the beginning of your solo, and you're going to have to do a lot less so you can settle into that solo. Here's an example. I'm just keeping the notes as long as I can. I'm not soloing, I'm practicing. I'm practicing making long notes. Confident players leave a note sustaining for a long time. Long notes. Train yourself to play slow with lots of vibrato. Big deal. That's not that hard. That's not shredding. You need something for the end of your solo that's going to be super fast. And I'm going to give you two different options. Okay, so one of the fast things you can do and that you can practice with the metronome is playing your scale or your pattern in a sequence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 4 notes of the scale and then go back to the second note that I played and then play 4 more notes of the scale until I get to the top. Let me demonstrate it and then we'll talk about it. 4 notes. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to the second note that I just played. Sequence in fourths. So if you can get that up to speed. So I would say that's like pretty fast, medium style. And that's really what happens, I think, at the end of Hold the Line, Toto, Hold the Line. That's Steve Lukather's doing one of those sequences up really fast. And then at the end of Separate Ways, which is what the backing track that we're playing to today is, there's a sequence going down. And I think that sequence might be in third, so it's something like 3 notes at a time. Sequences are very powerful for developing your technique, and if you do them too much, it's going to sound like you're just practicing on the gig. But if you need some speed at the end of your solo, that's what you can do. So I'm going to do sequence of fourths because that's a little bit more in the style of the 80s. Had a bunch of wrong notes. It doesn't matter at that speed. A lot of times, I mean, yes, you want to play as clean as possible, but don't let getting it right stop you from just playing with this fire that these 80s cats have, okay? So I'll do the sequence of fourths descending again very slowly. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, by practicing this, I figured out that it's actually easier for me to move some of the notes out of that initial pattern to lower. So when I'm descending, I find that it's easier to stretch and play 3 notes per string. Try it. You're going to want to work with this so much that it's effortless. This is not a one day I just figured it out and I could play super freaking fast. This is started at 60 BPM, see if you could do it perfectly. then you move it to 62. Get up to 70. Oh, you can't do it at 70. Move it back to 68. This is like working out basically. So this is like the bodybuilding equivalent of guitar. You're just slowly every day getting stronger and faster. You may notice that I'm also managing all the strings and the vibrations of all the strings I'm not playing. So a lot of resting on the, so I'm not over here like playing off the bridge, and I'm not leaving a gap there for my hand. I'm managing all the strings. And a lot of times when I'm playing the lower strings, I'm doing a palm mute. But if I'm on the higher strings, I'm muting the low strings so they don't ring. So over here, what you're not seeing is if I don't do that, I get a bunch of sympathetic vibrations. See, another technique that you want to look at is managing the strings you're not playing. When you have this much distortion and overdrive going, it's a crucial piece of the equation. I can't do that unless I'm stopping all the other strings. See how everything just rings over? One more thing you could do to get some speed, and I've seen a lot of jazz players do this when they need to play fast. I've seen a lot of different genres of Latin music. Here's one more trick that you can do. You can play the scale in thirds, descending in thirds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip a note and then come back to the one I skipped. So I call that falling thirds. So I'm staying within the scale, but I'm going down by third. In the wrong context, if you do this on a blues song, it's going to sound like you're practicing. It's not the style. But if you do this on a metal song, hard rock song, Latin even, like if you're on an acoustic guitar, you do this, it's going to sound really, really cool and really badass. I'll do it again. All right, let's do a quick recap of how you're going to practice these three things that will get you shredding really fast. You're going to overdo the vibrato. You're just going to practice making it super crazy, and you can really hear the note going away and coming back. Then you're going to practice to the backing track or the band doing long notes. And by long notes, I mean whole notes. You're going to wait 4 beats or 8 beats on the same note. Ba, and just let it vibrato. Feel it. And then, since you're already kind of hanging out, you can subdivide in your head. I was playing 16th notes. So for my patterns, I was playing, for every beat, I was playing 4 notes. While you're waiting on your long note, you can think to yourself, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and you'll be set up to play that fast phrase. Maybe the fast phrase is one of your licks that you've prepared. Like maybe you got like a Jimmy Page. Oh, that was sloppy as Jimmy Page too. You got one of those prepared? Use that at the end of your solo. The idea is that you're building this really intense moment for yourself to be this lead guitar hero. And most of the cats didn't come right out of the gate shredding, okay? That was for the end. Especially even Slash, who's probably my favorite guy from that whole era. He plays something very melodic, very pretty, and then right at the end, he just melts your face off. The other option, which is really useful in a lot of genres, is the falling thirds. Practice those to a metronome, super slow, and it's super mechanical. So don't expect this to happen, tomorrow. These are patterns that need to play themselves. It's going to be muscle memory to make these happen. A couple of other things that you could do to really elevate your solo is pinch harmonics. Practice those. I usually end up doing it over the neck pickup or in this area. Even though my hand's back here, I'll turn my pick at a 45-degree angle, bounce it off my thumb. You gotta find it too. bounce it off the side of your thumb. You can practice doing the whole scale with pinch harmonics just to get better at it. It's a challenge for people, but once you get it, it's really badass. I mean, Billy Gibbons does it all the time. And if you have that on demand, it's going to be super cool. Last thing I'll say before this lesson is too long is you can rake. And raking is pretty badass because it just makes it sound like you're killing the guitar. But in reality, you're barely playing. So when you're bending, let's say I'm going to bend this note up to the root. I'm going to bend the 15th fret up. Some vibrato. This sounds crazy, but I'm actually putting really light on the other strings. So I'm muting everything until I get to the note that I want to play. So there's a little bit of a turn my hand away to make sure that it comes out. Versus just playing it, I can rake. Oh, missed it. Can't do it to every note, otherwise it loses its impact, but it just sounds like you're freaking killing the guitar. But it's so light, guys. You want to do it so light. In fact, this fast style is all about playing super light. That's why these guys use really light strings and the most face-melting, overdriven, it's not even overdriven, it's distortion, straight up distortion to make their fast licks happen. And that's why a lot of that fast stuff really comes out, and then when you go to play clean, it doesn't come out because a lot of people don't have the technique to make hammer-ons, let's say, come out as loud as actually picking the note. Some guys have that technique, but if you have a bunch of distortion, it's going to cover all that. So anyway, long story short, this is something you can work on for a long time, and even if you don't use this scale or even this song, this practice routine is going to get you better at building a killer solo, but also give you some speed if that's what you're looking for. I know a lot of people in the beginning, they're like, how do I play fast? It's about playing light and knowing what the hell you're going to play. Excuse my language here. But let me know what you guys think of this. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. It's a little bit out of the depth of this channel, but I can do more of it if you want. And I can certainly interview some of these badass rock guitar players that I know. Please subscribe. Hit me with a comment. Thanks for watching.